to scam as many ladies as he did. Thus, before technology innovations, dating numerous women at once would not be possible. And the films Dirty Rotten Scoundrels and Tinder Swindler demonstrate that fraud in romantic relationships has not changed as a result of the technology. And in both situations, males favor pursuing lovers, and criminals are more likely to have an impact on women who are looking for love, since they were weak and easily misled. So both films, male antagonists cheat and mislead women to get what they want. And the two incidents demonstrates the fraud crimes that have existed both before and after the development of the technology. And this may be the cause of the potential permanent loss of trust in romantic relationships and datings. And we try to discuss some recommendations for re-engineering trust. However, films like Dirty Rotten Scoundrels and Tinder Swindler demonstrate how trust is complicated to recover, as all of those victims are traumatized enough to not believe people again. And we try to create or come up with some recommendations. However, all of those ideas that might make sense to implement either are not effective enough or already exist, but aren't sufficiently enhanced and strong for complete security. And even if we come up with ideas such as greater restrictions or penalties, would be unfair to those who are not criminals. And because all of this, we discovered that no recommendations will be able to repair or rebuild trust in interpersonal interactions.
So overall, to conclude, we can say that trust is a crucial element in personal relationships. However, we saw that trust issues could arise in personal relationships for a variety of reasons, and they can have a significant impact on the relationship's health and longevity. The rise of technology has created a lot of challenges in building and maintaining trust in relationships. Thus, throughout the project, we tried to analyze the situation, find out what factors cause trust issues, and what actions can be taken to re-engineer trust in personal relationships and interactions. So we can say that rebuilding trust requires a sincerely apology, taking responsibility for one's action, and actively working to make attempts. It also requires a willingness to communicate openly and honestly, to demonstrate consistency and reliability over time, and show a genuine commitment to the relationship. So it's important also to note that rebuilding trust is not a one-time event, but rather a process that can take time and a lot of effort. It may involve seeking professional help, setting clear boundaries, and making changes to behavior communications pattern. However, as a result, we can say that fraud crimes have existed before and after technology, which leaves human characteristics as the main component of such crimes. So this can be the reason why trust in dating and relationships may never be restored. They indicate that if a person wants to commit a crime, they will, regardless of the situation and circumstances. And basically, in our case, the core of the problem is human nature, which will be difficult, if not impossible, to change from the root. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you all for a very good presentation. We can close, I think, the slides and open the floor to discussion and opinions and options.
I have a comment. Listening to this conversation, first of all, I agree very much with the conclusion that since these things are happening before and after technology, technology is really relevant, and it's the human characteristics that are in the heart of the matter. And my note, or let's say the idea that was inspired by this analysis, is that the strength or the wish, the hope, the power of hope is a lot stronger than the power of self-preservation, which means that when people feel hopeful and they see, in the cases of scams, usually a shortcut for this hope to be materialized, they seem to lose or very, very much minimize their strength and power of self-sustainability, because I believe that even the people that were duped in either of the cases, the new one or the old one, in the other parts of their life, like in business or in friendships or in in situations that did not have the hope for love, let's say, that duped them eventually, they were very self-sustained and very strategic. I mean, the women that lost a lot of money to the Tinder swindler, they made the money to lose it. That means that they were successful somewhere else in order to have the money in the first place. But when the hope came, they just became, quote unquote, dumber, if I can say that. You know, it's like it switches off. This is my comment, inspired and in agreement with your conclusion. Not a question, really.
May I? That was a very intriguing angle on this, and made me also think that what's the relationship of trust with hope, and what role does trust play in this situation? Because, as you said, I mean, there is the whole basis of scamming and taking advantage of people, and with the purpose of having money or something else as a benefit. It relies, and that's why we're doing it in this trust conference, it relies on building trust. That's the tool. The tool is not being smiling and being happy and taking them to trips and pretending you love them. The thing that will allow that transference of money from one person to the other is the trust that it's built. And based on Lucas's statement and angle, I'm starting to wonder, and I'm putting it on the table for discussion and asking the team as well. What's the role of hope in trust development and trust adoption towards an individual? It's not that I have an answer. I'm just thinking out loud now.
I think that the hope part is what bridges the unlogical, in some cases, actions that people take where otherwise they would have the strength to analyze and see the things clearly. So it blurs vision. This is my thought. But I'd love to hear from the team also, because they are the ones that did all the work on that.
We think that a solution should like work 100%, and hope is not like a solution, because we can all hope, but it cannot lead to a specific like goal.
Yeah, but it's the starting point for everything. I mean, I hope I'm going to be happy, so I'm going to take a trip to Indonesia. Well, I got killed in Indonesia, so the hope didn't really lead me to something good. Or I hope I can be rich, so I start a business. Hope is what sets the whole thing in motion, right?
Right, I agree.
Okay. Any questions? Someone, any contributions? Okay. I want to thank you for a very interesting and juicy presentation, actually, on a very juicy topic. And at this point, we're closing our 3-day conference, the second conference on navigating trust, that students organize and execute actually with presentations and work. Here at the American University of Armenia in Yerevan, through the course Trust of the General Education Department. I want to say that over 130 people attended these 3 days, and this is a new record for us, and it's a very encouraging record. We had very interesting topics, as it had big business in trust, trust in relationships, and predatory trust distributed over 3 days, with 7 project presentations that took a semester of work on them, and two guest speakers that touched on their fields, trust in the workplace and trust in relationships. I want to thank you all and say a good night, goodbye for you that are in the, this time zone. For you that are in the West, in you states or over, I want to wish you a good day. And let's trust that next year we'll be here again.
See you next year.